So welcome in today. Welcome to March 22nd. Our theme for this month has been What If? I hope you've been what-ifing a lot in the positive and doing the homework. And if you haven't done it, the form is out at the hospitality desk. It's not too late. So the book of the month has been Beyond Anxiety by Martha Beck. And I think it's worth it to read this if you want to get beyond anxiety, right? I know that it also can percolate those things in our lives that we don't even realize we're anxious about. So first I want to talk about day 51 of our 64 days of the season of nonviolence. We're almost to the end. I hope you've been following along. The word today is perfect for my talk. I love how this works. Advocacy. Advocacy is the word. Today, be an ally without blaming or judging others. Speak out for those who are disrespected. Advocacy. A quote from Paulo Freire, I saw within my own actions a chance to be either a part of the problem or a part of the solution. So this is what I want you to think about with this word. Who are your advocates? And how do you advocate for others? How do you advocate for others? So here's the action with this word. Recount a time when someone came forward and changed an outcome on your behalf. I know it's happened for me. List some of the ways you have come forward for others. And try to do that today. So, on to the talk. Want to change the world? Do it. And I want to bring up some famous women in history that have done just so, because this is Women's History Month. Women like Susan B. Anthony, Marie Curie, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Mae Jemison, Shirley Chisholm. Just a few of the amazing women that have truly changed this world. They didn't wait for the right time. They just did it. So, happiness. What becomes possible when we imagine the pursuit of happiness is a shared spiritual practice? It's a good question. And believe it or not, this is how we change the world. See, because we can't be out there changing the world if we're walking around and we're grumpy in our life. It just doesn't work like that. So, I know there's a lot of effects out there in the world. But bear with me here. In fact, before I really get into this, I want you to just take a deep breath in. And release it. Do that one more time. Take in a nice deep breath, nice and slow. Because I know that for myself, when I remember to take a conscious breath, it grounds me, it brings me home, it brings me to my heart. And what I want to talk about today can be hard. Change the world? Do it? What are you talking about, Reverend Cindy? Well, I'm going back to happiness, because what if happiness isn't personal but collective? When you look at the world, it kind of makes sense, right? And what if your inner world is not separate from the world that we live in? Ooh. In Science of Mind, we really are taught about taking responsibility for what's happening in our world. Not blaming and putting being in a victim consciousness where everybody is doing everything to you. The idea here is changing the world is not a future event. It's in every present moment. It's in the now, it's in the now, it's in the now. So, when I think about our book of the month, Martha Beck talks a lot about using our imagination. And that's a place where we can thrive and be beyond our anxiety by connecting with our own happiness and joy. By really focusing on that being a driving force of our life. In Science of Mind, we are reminded that we are the creative medium. We are creators of our own life. And we're always creating, whether we're conscious of it or not conscious of it, we're creators. You're creating abundance and love and joy, or you're creating lack and limitation and sorrow. But we are the creators of our own life. The third principle I really want to focus on today is that we are energy beings. If we bring an energy of lightness, of joy, of happiness into the current situations of today, we can really make a change. But if you go into the situations today and you bring discouragement and disgruntlement and anger, then we get more of the same. So, there is a world that we're living in versus a world that we're creating. Do you get that? The difference there? So, once again, I'll acknowledge that there's a lot of people out there that are very in their fear. That there's a very big division going on, us and them happening. I also know that when we use our imagination and we imagine a world without this fear and this division, that's when we can create a new world. A world that we want to see, that we want to live in. So the times when we're most creative, the times when we access our divine intelligence, our imagination, those are the times, those are the places that I want to create a world from. See, because this world that we see out there, whether you know it or not, is shaped by the inner world that we practice. That's why I've given you this assignment, your what if assignment. If you haven't done it yet, you can still get your forms and you can still do it. In fact, next week, if there's something that came through for you with this assignment, I'm going to invite you to share it at service next week. I already have one incredible song about what if. Who else wants to play? I'm inviting you to play. So what are we practicing every day? Again, in Science of Mind, we learn that these thoughts that we plant, that the law always works, and then it fulfills itself, it manifests. So if you're not sure what you're practicing every day, look at where your manifestations are. Are you growing weeds? Are you growing flowers? Not that kind of weed, no. Well, not in Utah anyway. In California you could do it, but anyway. Yeah, different places you can, not here. Okay, so what I want to say is happiness as a spiritual practice can help us create the world we want to live in. What if? What if joy was truly an act of service? I see that in this room. People that are in high service, in volunteerism, and I see the joy that they bring when they walk through these doors. What if inner peace is truly a form of sacred activism? What if the anxiety we are feeling is just us birthing a new world? You see, we all know that there's been things happening in this world, in our United States of America, that hasn't been working. And what happens when things are not working? They have to burn down. They have to become dust. It has to go away so that we can create something new. So I'm really fascinated with this because I am tired, I don't know about you, at looking at the current politics that we have, thinking, where's this going? I want to know that by us as a community and each of us as individuals practicing our practice is making a profound difference on this planet. And if that means we're in the midst of the birthing process, I've never given birth. I know there's plenty of ladies in this room that have given birth, and I know that it's not comfortable, that it hurts, that it's challenging. So we have some talking back there that is agreeing with me, I guess. Look, when we practice happiness, we are rehearsing the world we want to live in. So how about it? Let's stop being grumpy and be happy. So I was remembering this week that my body is truly a bridge to embodying my happiness and this teaching. I was remembering this week that when I'm truly embodying joy, that I just feel better all the way around. My body, my heart, my soul, my mind, everything just seems to align better, and I feel better, and I'm grateful for more, and then more to be grateful comes in my life. So, when I hold the frequency of joy and love, that's where I want to come from. That's where I want to sing from. That's where I want to speak from, and that's where I want to be a friend from. If I walk into a room and I'm already, woe is me, how this world sucks and what's going to happen, then I'm going to bring more of that energy into the room, and that's not the world I want to create or the community I want to create. So, you don't just think a new world into being. I wish it were that easy. We have to embody it. We have to remember to pay attention to this body temple that we have and honor it and pay attention to it. I said, I think it was at class this week, I realized that my knee was talking to me for many, many years and I ignored it. I kept marching through life, even if it hurt, to the point where I couldn't march anymore and I had to get my new knee. And now that I have my new knee, I realize, I dealt with that for so many years. Why did I just deal with that? Pain, lack of flexibility, not being able to ride my bike, which I love so much. What is your body trying to tell you? It's important. So, sacred activism and advocacy. See, our inner work is the work that we do for the world. Imagine what emerges from us being embodied if we're out there, rather than we're just reacting to the situation. It's a whole different thing. So, activism without being grounded is a cause for burnout, depression, and all that stuff. But spiritual activism is a way that we get to show up as the mystics that we are and the movers that we are. You can be both mystical and a mover. Newsflash. That's how I see Delane. I'm going to call her up in a minute to help me with something. So what does it look like to act from love instead of fear? What changes when we respond instead of react? I have my witness consciousness really dialed in, and I can sometimes catch myself 2 seconds later going, "What was that, Cindy?" I was reacting rather than responding. Because my response is always going to be from my heart and my soulful self. But when I react from my mind and decide that it's us and them and buy into that perspective, it just feels lousy and it feels like it doesn't change. So let's talk a little bit about this thing that our center has been involved in. We're not the only center. There's centers and churches all over this valley that are showing up in the Salt Lake City singing resistance. It's been spectacular. So we think of the singing resistance as joy as defiance, joy in resistance. So think about this. In history, people have sung through oppression, grief, and uncertainty. There's a lot of amazing songs that have come through challenging times on this planet. Singing actually regulates our nervous system. It also unifies us together when we sing together. It transforms despair into connection, solidarity. That's a very powerful place to create from. So, I have to set this up this way. Delane and I, we did something crazy this week. We went to protest the new ICE facility. This is what I noticed. We got there, and there were a lot of people that had megaphones, and there was an organizing person that had a microphone and big speakers, and there was some very passionate people that were talking about how Utah doesn't agree with this ICE facility. But what happened was they were yelling into the microphone. They were also chanting F Trump and things like that. And the moment I could feel that energy, I wouldn't say I shut down, but I put a little protection over my heart. And I didn't hear what they had to say, and I know what they had to say was extremely important, and it's why I was there. So Dalian and I, we marched up to the news cameras, and I got on the news. Donna saw me. Dalian saw me. Marched up to the news and got on camera, told them what we're doing today at First Baptist, told them about the singing resistance, and then we also said, we are the singing resistance. We want to be on your program, and they put us right at the end. So here we are. There's a lot going on. It's very loud. There's also big trucks going by slowly, honking their horns, and there's all this energy. And Dalian gets the microphone, and she tells people we're the singing resistance of Salt Lake City. And the minute that she starts singing, I could feel the energy of the crowd kind of calm down. So it was up here and amplified, and you saw there was some stuff that happened at the end of the thing. It was after the organized part. But it was an actual experience of what I'm talking about. When you bring your energy from a place of love, of happiness and joy, it calms everything down in your body. When you come into a situation like that and you're all amped up and you're reacting from anger, it just gets everything explosive and loud. And I couldn't hear what they were trying to say. I want you to experience it. And if you can't come today, I'm going to invite Dalian to come up. And we're going to do a little bit of this. And this is what I want you to do. I want you to just notice how your body feels. She's going to guide us. The words are easy. Notice how you feel and pay attention to that.
Thanks, Cindy.
Yes.
This is called We Are Here. Raj has a slide. I even provided the lyrics for you, so this is going to be so easy and fun. We're going to sing through the whole song as a call and response first to learn it, and then we'll go through it together as it's outlined with the lyrics that Raj will put up. Ready? Okay. We are here, with our voices, our love for each other, will carry us through, Yes, our love for each other, will carry us through. Here we go. You repeat the first two lines and then we just sing together. We are here, with our voices. Our love for each other will carry us through. Yes, our love for each other will carry us through. Let's do that again. We are here, with our voices. Our love for each other will carry us through. Yes, our love for each other will carry us through. Feel free to harmonize. How about courage? We are here, with our courage. Our love for each other will carry us through. Yes, our love for each other will carry us through. Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
Thank you. So how did that feel? Did it bring you to a place of feeling good, joy? Did you notice in your body how you felt? I have to just say this. Delian was a rock star out there. She is truly in her heart and her element when she's doing these songs, and people couldn't help but respond in that beautiful, positive way. So, thank you, my friend. Yes. We're very fortunate to have Delian in our pod, our Salt Lake City pod. We have such a big organization happening so quickly that we're broken into smaller pods, and we have our own pod here. So join us tonight. But I just am so taken by the possibility of what we can change with this kind of energy. I have never been one of those people that have been out with a sign marching. I didn't feel like it was mine to do. But something changed for me. And singing and watching the singing resistance in Minneapolis, it struck a nerve. Like, oh yes, this is how I can show up in my joy. This is how I can say, yeah, I don't want those things to happen. This is how I can use my voice in a positive way to create a new world. So, a world where happiness is practiced together becomes a world where healing accelerates. Here's a little call to action for doing it, for getting it done, for changing the world. First of all, notice what inner world you are practicing. Notice. Next, you want to shift. You want to shift and be curious. You want to breathe. You want to be noticing those small, joyful moments so that you can respond from there. And finally, you want to share. You want to regulate and uplift others with your presence, with your kindness, with your singing, with your talents. See, we can't wait. We can't wait to do it. It's calling us now. Also, we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to be perfect. You guys, when Delian was singing with that group, I was videoing her, and I was singing out, and I was like, ooh, it's not pretty like Delian's. Next time I'll mouth the words and just video. But we can't, it doesn't have to be perfect. In a group setting, we all blend in, we all harmonize. We want a world of harmony, we have to use our voices. So, if you want to change the world, don't wait for permission. Don't wait to be perfect. Just do it. I'm going to close with a reading that I found from a beautiful Sikh writer, Valerie Kuar. Close your eyes and take this in. Any act to change the world around us begins within us. It starts with a sense of agency, a sense that we have the power to affect change. The Latin root of power means to be able. When we feel helpless in the face of injustice, it is easy to give in to the idea that this is just the way things are, because it's the way things have always been. Then someone comes along and sparks our imagination. A prophet, a voice, from the past or a friend on the phone. We begin to see that the norms and institutions that order this world are not inevitable, but constructed, and therefore can be changed. The Brazilian educator Paulo Freire calls this internal shift critical consciousness. The moment we tap into our own power to change the world around us, it feels like waking up. Let's wake up together. Join me in prayer. Take in a deep breath. And just remember how you felt singing. I am so incredibly grateful. Grateful for this day. Grateful for spring and the butterflies, the spiders and the ladybugs. Grateful for the trees that are blossoming and blooming. Grateful for these teachings. Grateful for these women in history that changed the world. They didn't wait. They just got out there and they did it. I'm grateful for this teaching, for Ernest Holmes and our book Science of Mind, and all the teachers that taught him and inspired him to use his imagination. I'm mostly grateful to know that there is only one. One power, one presence, one love. Doesn't matter what you call it, Mother, Father, God, Allah, Jehovah, Hashem, the way, universe, light, imagination, energy, power, presence. So many names and yet only one. This oneness is in and through everything, every moment of every day. And because I know that truth, I claim and know it for myself. I am one in the same as the one, the I am that I am. And I know the same truth for everybody within earshot of this prayer and beyond. We are divine emanations of this power, presence, light. Living a divine life through our humanity. And because we are living, breathing, expressing light, I know that everything that's happening in our life is connected, intertwined. So if you're holding the prayer right now for wholeness, for energy, for healthy body, for a loved one that's going through a diagnosis or a challenge, or has some kind of procedure coming up soon, that light, spirit, God is right in the center of it, right here and right now. You, my beloved, are never alone. Held in the heart and the hands and the mind of the one. And for those of us here wanting a changed world, a world filled with love and compassion and kindness and happiness. It started today. We learned that we must be happy now in ourselves, in our lives, so we can create from that state of consciousness. From that state of critical consciousness. It's calling our lives right here and right now. No waiting, no putting it off until every circumstance is in order or things are perfect. We enter into this now. We accept all the gifts. We accept all the wholeness. We accept all the abundance right here and right now. And for this, with great gratitude for answered prayer, for great gratitude for this community, for great gratitude for these teachings, I release it into the law, knowing it always works 100% of the time. Because we know this and we feel this and we are this, together we say, and so it is. Amen. Ashe.